Why is monogamy generally seen as good? Why is it generally seen as wrong and immoral to cheat on your spouse? I can never think of a purely logical rationale for it. Perhaps, treat people the way you want to be treated, do unto others what you want to be done unto you, the golden rule thing, which is the basis of UPB. But beyond that simple practical issue and not wanting to hurt other people's feelings, I couldn't think of why cheating on one's spouse could ever be, wrong in a vacuum. But if you analyze it from a evolutionary perspective, the answer is a lot more simple. Marriage is an institution that's just designed to make sure a man is raising his own children. And if a woman is a virgin when she is married, the male can be sure that the child she bears is truly his, or at least this makes it a lot more likely. An evolutionary explanation also hints at why male unfaithfulness is less looked down upon than female unfaithfulness, and why women get called sluts for having many partners, while males get called studs for having many partners. Females are simply more important in terms of reproduction, and the moral code and the double standard reflect this fact. However, because humans have a conception of fairness and logical consistency, this moral commandment of faithfulness is also applied to males, if in just a purely technocratic sense. And this led me to develop a theory that human morality is nothing more than the codification of base biological drives that evolved in primates. And once this codification occurs, it changes a little bit, because in the process of codification you have to apply some logic to these base biological drives. Frans de Waal has done a lot of work on this. He's a primatologist who posits that the four motifs that are the basis of human social life are present in primates, and these motifs are empathy, rules, reciprocity, and peacemaking. And for example, if you have a situation set up where a rhesus monkey pulls a string, and he pulls a string and gives him a grape, but electrocutes another rhesus monkey that's like across from him, that rhesus monkey will actually starve himself so as to prevent the other monkey from getting shocked. Rhesus monkeys will also bite off parts of fingers of other members in the little tribe who disobey the tribe rules. If you give a capuchin monkey, I hope that's how you pronounce it, a capuchin monkey a cucumber for pressing a button, and then you give another capuchin monkey a grape for performing the same task, the monkey which received the cucumber will throw the cucumber back at you, and he'll throw a tantrum. Chimpanzees, which can't swim, will often drown en masse trying to save a drowning friend. And after a chimp loses a fight, other chimps will typically console him. And there's all sorts of examples of different apes and monkeys behaving in these humanistic ways. And so humans evolved along this path, but then developed something that other primates have not, and that is, or at least not to a human extent, and that is the ability to think in terms of concepts. This ability to think in terms of concepts allows humans to criticize illogical or inconsistent moral commandments rooted in biology, such as the desire for the wife to be faithful, where a man is also required to be faithful simply because of a logical, conceptual analysis of the moral code, while the desire for faithfulness in and of itself is a purely biological evolutionary desire which only applies to the woman. And hence, it's just an evolutionary moral commandment. However, the application of faithfulness to men is nothing more than a logical thing. It's a logical analysis, whereas the desire for women to be faithful is a biological evolutionary moral commandment. A moral command is just a rule that social animals internalize. A moral command makes someone feel bad or good about doing something. If you have internalized that stealing is wrong as a moral command, then you will feel bad whenever you steal. This self-attack is what allows societies, human or otherwise, to be maintained. Without it, each member of the society would make a simple, cost-benefit analysis in regards to killing or stealing, and so moral commands against certain behaviors depress those actions in people. And on the other hand, you may have a moral command that says giving to poor people is good, and so the moral command will reward those behaviors. And so people will feel good when they give to poor people because they have internalized the moral command, or perhaps it's even hardwired. Certain mammals have some flexibility in their moral commands, such as dogs and cats, while an ant has almost zero flexibility in learning moral commands. Humans have a great deal of flexibility in moral commands, and this leads to some very interesting results. The ability to think in concepts allowed for humans to logically criticize moral commandments in a way most animals cannot, but it also allowed humans to think of morality as a concept itself. And this led to the codification of morality. But when the codification occurs, humans run into a problem. Where does it start? Where does morality start? Killing is bad because if everyone went around killing each other, society would collapse. But what is the logical, syllogistic proof that killing, raping, assaulting, stealing, or cheating on your husband is actually bad? They could develop moral codes, but these codes were always based on some assumption, such as killing is bad. And from thou shalt not kill, you can derive various other rules, but they all came from some postulate. The moral philosophers simply appeal to God. It's classic God of the gaps. When scientists can't understand something, they say it was done by God. And when moral philosophers couldn't understand how to derive first principles, they said that God made some commandments. This also had emotional resonance with the masses because recall that God is a parental projection, mommy government, and the parent gives the child moral commandments. And so God gave man moral commandments and even encourages men to behave like children.